Imagine living your childhood dream of playing in the NHL, and then at just age 26, you suffer your first stroke, and then you have another one at age 35. But despite all of that adversity, you come back and are still known as one of the best defensemen in your generation. That is the story of Kris Letang. If you're new here, I talk hockey every single day, so make sure you follow so you never miss anything. But it was in January of 2014 that Kris Letang suffered his first stroke at age 26. At that point, he was already a really dominant NHL player, and it looked like the sky was the limit for him. Kris would go on to open up how his wife Catherine found him on the floor that morning, and he eventually was rushed to the hospital. The doctors were able to figure out that the reason that he had the stroke was because of a small hole in the wall of his heart that most people get closed up when they're a baby, but his never did. Despite the setback, Kris Letang would come back and still be his dominant self in the NHL and be a big reason of the Penguins winning back-to-back cups. Until one day in 2022 when it was announced that Kris Letang suffered a second stroke, but this one was less severe than the first one, and he was able to get back in action much faster. This story does have a happy ending though, because Kris Letang underwent a procedure in April of 2025 to close that small hole in his heart wall. Although the Big Three era in Pittsburgh is slowly coming to an end, I will always remember everything that Kris Letang went through and how dominant he was still able to be.